+1 here, and today I'm going to be using these Sarasa Clip marble colour pens. They've been sat in my drawer for going on 2 years now, and I've never found a use for them. And the idea is that there's like different colours of ink smushed up inside them, so when you draw with them you get like a little marble effect style of pens. And I have like 5 colours of these, just based on what I can see here. This one seems to be predominantly green with parts of purple and blue. We have this one which appears to be primarily yellows and oranges with a bit of green. This one's primarily seems to be orange, yellow and green, like typical highlighter colours. This one seems to be blues and oranges, and then this one seems to be purples, blues and oranges. So let's just start by swatching these. So I'm gonna like put blue, green, because this is the one with the green tip. It's kind of muddier than I expected, but and there isn't much of a marble effect there. I think these have just been in the drawer for a really long time, so like they haven't got a lot of juice in them. Let's try a couple other colours, see if it's just the green one that's like this. So now pink. That seems to be a bit more vibrant. I'm really not getting much of this marble look that was promised, I'm gonna admit. You can kind of see the marble effect. I was really expecting like a proper full-on marble look with these. These are honestly just coloured fine liners that also do not match the tips of the pens in the slightest. Like, look at the colour difference there. If you're going to have them be one colour at the end of the day, have it match the colour on the pen. That one's a bit closer, but yeah. Let's try this lilac one. That's coming off pretty mauve, or like blue, if anything, more than lilac. Yeah, again, definitely not the suggested colour from these pens. I think they go down quite nicely. That one went down nicer than the green one did anyway. Okay, so this is the yellow. I forgot to write this one does seem to have a bit more colour variation in it, because that's pretty like greeny. This is much more orange here. Yeah, I'm not like, I expected like this crazy cool colour switch thing, like, but yeah. And then have orange. Again, pretty muddy. That one definitely has the largest colour variation in it. I don't know if you can see that, but you could definitely see the greens and the pinks coming out more in this one. Definitely not orange though. Like, that colour and this pen's colour aren't accurate. So yeah, using the pen tops as a way of analysing the colours is not going to be a very accurate method with this one. But it shouldn't be too difficult to make some art with these. So first off, I would like to make some basic like thumbnail sketches of possible characters that we could go for here. So let's just start off with the basic outline of a face. My hair gets everywhere. So I'm just going to start off with making a basic outline for the face, just a possible thumbnail sketch. I'm thinking maybe like a rounder face, something like this, and something like that, maybe freckles. I'm just kind of experimenting here. try a couple of different things. Maybe if I did one eye closed. I'm thinking maybe for the hair, instead of doing hair, I make it look like there's just like marbled paint sloshing down her face, considering we are using a supposedly marble product. I think like the idea is that these are for writing pens, and you wouldn't really want to have like crazy colours all over the place when you're writing. So for that functionality, I think they're pretty good, but I feel like it is kind of misleading to call these marbled. I'll also say they have been in my drawer for a very long time. It's possible the colours have just merged too much over time. But yeah. So I'm just gonna figure out something. I think maybe having her, instead of that, I could do it open mouth or something. Maybe make it look, her hair's like properly like liquid. I don't know. I'm really happy with this design at this point. Things, we don't have a good skin tone here. Out of all of them, this is probably the best skin tone. What am I just doing? But we could probably bring in a bit of the pink colour in places. Just, I mean, this is just a thumbnail sketch, so I'm obviously not putting too much effort in making the colours super accurate. We can work out that in a minute. For the hair, instead of trying to marble it with just the colours, because obviously these aren't very marbled, I think it'd be best if we like properly drew in them, like the marble portions like that, and like outline all the different areas. Yeah. And then that kind of makes a marble effect. And then I could use pink on her shirt. I'm thinking maybe doing the green and the blue in the hair. Or maybe the blue and the pink actually, because these are the two more vibrant colours based on the swatches. Like, if I were to do like, do pink in these portions and then like, so yeah. But then like the lilac one, I keep calling it blue, but like, because it's like so not blue. Yeah. I think that could look pretty decent. She does kind of have like Simpson style skin going on. But, and for the green, I can just slap on the shirt. It's definitely not a bright green, so it kind of makes things more muted. I can also use this colour for shadows in places, I guess, because it does kind of look like that. So yeah, I think it's a good basic idea of what I'm going for here. I like this. So now I'm going to make this into an actual finished piece. So yeah, let's go for that. Okay, so here you can see I'm starting on the basic sketch of the character's head, just blowing up the version of like the thumbnail sketch I'd already done, just trying to make it more. I gave her like a cute smile, and I wanted her to look really happy, so I exaggerate that, give her some dimples sort of thing, and I think it's pretty cute. But the sketch isn't super important here. Like, it doesn't come out perfect in the end. I wasn't spending too much time on this, because obviously the real part of this video was about testing the pens and not on making a beautiful drawing. I wanted it to look good though, so I do the eye, I do one open, one closed sort of thing.
just to give her a bit of expression. I wanted it to have some nice variation to it, sort of thing. I do the character's ear and add some detail to that. And then I do the gloopy hair sort of thing. Didn't want this to go over this eye. I decided, because like it wouldn't go over the eye she has open. Like if there's liquid running down your face, you would close the eye that it was covering. So that's why I had it go over the area where the closed eye is, not the open one. I go on to doing parts of the torso and the arms. And yeah. I'm not super accurately following the thumbnail sketch. That was just more of a concept. I'm just trying to make something which looks decent here. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. So here's me doing the rest of the hair. Trying to make it look like there's some motion to it. And yeah. I just keep going over it. I add in the marble effect in my drawing. So like I just outline some areas which are going to be in a different colour. And I think that looks pretty cool. Like the idea obviously being that these are marble pens, so she would have marble hair. And yeah. Just keep going over like that. I added some areas within these areas which are going to be the same as the base colour, sort of thing. I give her face a bit more shape because I wasn't really too happy with like how far up her face her mouth was. I added in some details to her clothing. And yeah, I added a shirt underneath her, like what I already had because I thought it'd be a cardigan. After doing the line work, which I done off camera because literally doing the same thing over again, I start using these pens. There are things I liked about them. Like, you can't see it on this blue one at all. But the other pens did have a decent colour shift. This blue pen did have a bit of a colour shift if you looked at the very end of what I did. But you can see I cover a lot of area with this blue pen. And it's definitely not the lilac colour shown on the tip of the pen. But yeah, at the very end of what I'm doing, it does start to go a tad purple. But it's so subtle that it's like, what was the point? Like, I covered the entirety of these hair outline areas with it, and it did not change. I first noticed the colour shift on this pen, where you can see here there is like a notable colour shift from purple to pink in a remarkably short area compared to the blue. And I like that. That is what I was kind of expecting with these pens. I did expect a colour shift, which I got with this one. I do the lips in the same colour. Yeah, it's just weird how some of them had a really strong colour shift and others just didn't. Like, you'll notice that the green one, when I do her jacket, has a huge colour shift range. It like makes a full rainbow almost on one side of the jacket. And it's like, I kind of expected them all to be like that. Again, it could have a lot to do with how they were just sat in a drawer for like years before I got around to using them. But yeah, I liked the colour variation that this purple pink one had. So I go back to doing the blue. You can still see that like there is no colour variation in it like at all. Yeah, it's like at the very, very end it goes a tiny bit more purple, but it's so subtle that it's like, what the hell? So yeah, I just keep going. I do the eyes, a mixture of the blue and the green for a bit of variation. I then do the pink, and then I do this and layer up the colours to make a nice other colour. That was another thing. They were very good for blending together, remarkably well. Like you could just go over one with another and then it would just change the colour. Yeah, this green really had a strong colour shift. You can already start to see it. Like it went from green to yellow almost instantly. And like then it went all the way into blue. And I was like really impressed. You can see that I'm going over like in these line strokes because you can't go too far from your previous colour or it would really jump, so you had to like keep going back to, like you couldn't shade an area then go back to another area, you had to go across like this as to avoid there being huge variations in colour. But like, that's just part of the pen. Like, that's not a fault of the pen in any capacity. That is what I was looking for, really, if anything. So I'm just going up in the opposite direction here, just because that's the way to get the closest match to how, like, as the colour goes back to the original, it starts to kind of make more sense to do it this way. You can see the colour doesn't return very quickly, but like, that's not the pen's fault, that's just the way the blend is. But yeah, I was really impressed with this, honestly. Like, after doing the blue, I was like, oh, these are not colour, like, there is no marble effect here whatsoever. The pink, I was like, oh, there's a bit, and then, wow. And after doing this subtle skin tone, I think I can call this done.
So, these pens, what do I think? Well, unlike from the swatches, over a larger area, you can see there is a lot of colour variation in some of the pens. Like, this one was the green one. You can see it does have the full green to purple that is shown on this part of the pen. You see a swatch here. It does have a full green to purple spectrum that does appear over a larger area. However, I also did a large area with this lilac-y pen for the hair, and at the very end you can start to see it go slightly more purple, but overall it is very much so the same shade of blue, which does not match the one which is demonstrated, this lilac colour here. Also, the pinks didn't vary too much. There is some slight variation here. You can see it's a deeper purple here and a lighter pink here, but it is very subtle. But it does do what it's advertising. I didn't really use the other colours enough to see their functionality. Yeah, overall, they're good writing implements, I could tell that much. Obviously, it's a bit annoying, the colour shift when you're drawing, because you can see the two sides don't really match up. There's a strong yellow colour here, but there isn't one on the other side because you can't control where the colour shift is. But obviously, that's kind of part of the intention of the pen, that it is a colour shift. It's designed for extended writing, so like if you're writing a long paragraph, I could see this being a very cute effect. Say for a cute birthday card or something like that, these would be ideal. I don't know how much of this one colourness is just from them being in my drawer for like 2 years. I'm sure that didn't help. Overall, I think these are a really cute product. And don't buy these with the intention that you're going to make great art from them, because you're not. But if you are just looking for a cool piece of stationery to go in your art drawer that you can use on cards or labels or something cute like that, these are a perfectly viable product. And I like them. I probably will use them more, and I doubt they're going to sit in the bottom of my drawer for the next 5 years or however long it will be. But yeah, I will use these. They're not a frequent thing that I'd use, but yeah, I can see there being a purpose for these. It's just an interesting writing utensil. So yeah, this is what I created with them. I think it's a pretty cute drawing. I like her hair. I like the effect. I like also another thing, they are like bullet tipped, so they are writing pens, so covering a large area is going to be annoying because you can see there's a lot of white areas where I didn't get a solid colour. But yeah, it's to be expected with this sort of pen. Like I said, they're not for colouring large areas, they are writing pens. But yeah, I think this is a pretty cute art piece that I've made in the end here, and yeah, I think that this is a decent product, and I will try to use these more in the future. I'm just going to say thanks for watching, see you next week, follow me on Instagram at HannahMassCrafts, bye!